Nice to meet you. I am Marcus Aurelius.
Nice to meet you. I am Socrates.
Topic 1. What is the purpose of life?
Do we discover life's purpose, or do we create it ourselves? I believe only through self-examination can we understand what truly matters. We must look closely at our own choices, desires, and actions. For instance, a person may chase wealth or fame, thinking it will bring meaning, but without reflection, these pursuits may feel empty. By asking ourselves why we do what we do, we begin to uncover the purpose that aligns with our nature. Purpose is not something the world hands to us. It is something we uncover through thought, reflection, and careful consideration of our life.
I see your point, Socrates. Reflection is important, yet purpose is also found in living according to nature and reason. We are part of a larger whole, and our actions affect others. When we act rightly, fulfill our duties, and serve the common good, life gains real meaning. Helping someone in need, being honest, or doing one's work with care creates significance beyond ourselves. Purpose is expressed through virtuous action as much as understanding. By living in alignment with reason and nature and contributing to the world, we live a life of true importance.
Can we control our emotions?
Emotions arise from our judgments about events. We cannot control everything that happens, but we can choose how we respond. For example, when someone criticizes us, we can feel anger or disappointment, but we decide how strongly we let it affect us. By seeing events clearly and without exaggeration, we can remain calm and focused. Emotions are signals, not enemies. They guide us, if understood and directed by reason, toward the right response and the right action.
That makes sense, Marcus. Awareness is key. But can we ever fully control our emotions? Perhaps it is not about force, but about understanding. By observing what we feel and why, we learn more about ourselves. For instance, noticing jealousy or fear allows us to ask, "Why do I feel this?" and act more wisely. Control grows from awareness, not suppression. Recognizing emotions allows reason to guide us rather than letting impulses lead our choices.
What defines a good man?
A good man knows he does not know everything. He constantly seeks wisdom, questions his beliefs, and listens to others. Humility is essential. By recognizing our ignorance, we open ourselves to learning. For example, a man who thinks he is always right may harm others or himself, even unintentionally. True goodness comes from reflection, not appearances. It is the careful practice of examining oneself, acknowledging errors, and striving to improve.
I agree, Socrates. Humility is essential. I would add that a good man lives by virtue, not by praise or pleasure. Virtuous action, guided by reason, defines him more than knowledge alone. Even if no one notices, his life is meaningful because he acts rightly. For example, a person who tells the truth or helps another, even in small ways, is fulfilling goodness. Virtue is its own reward, and the measure of a good man lies in his actions, not in recognition or applause.
Is truth absolute or personal?
Truth exists, independent of opinion. It is eternal, like nature itself, and does not bend to desire or convenience. For example, the laws of the universe operate whether we understand them or not. By living according to reason, we align ourselves with truth. Our task is to perceive clearly, without letting emotions or prejudice cloud our judgment. Truth is not created by humans. It is discovered when our mind sees what is real.
Yes, truth exists, but we must question and explore to uncover it. Dialogue and reflection help reveal what is real rather than simply accepting assumptions. For instance, by asking questions of ourselves and others, we refine our understanding and move closer to truth. Truth is revealed gradually through inquiry and reasoning. It is not enough to claim knowledge. We must seek and test it continually.
Duty to others versus self.
Caring for one's own soul is not selfish. It naturally benefits those around us. If we cultivate wisdom, patience, and virtue within ourselves, our actions toward others will be stronger and more just. For example, a teacher who first learns discipline and understanding can guide students more effectively than one who has not reflected on their own behavior.
I agree, Socrates. And I would add that duty to oneself and to others are intertwined because we are all part of a single human community. By acting rightly toward others, we fulfill our own nature and strengthen our soul. For instance, helping a neighbor or supporting a friend in need is not only a kindness to them, but also an expression of reason and virtue in ourselves. Our individual well-being and the well-being of those around us are linked. Neglecting one harms the other. Living harmoniously means honoring both personal growth and our responsibilities to others.
The role of suffering.
Suffering is unavoidable, yet it is also an opportunity for growth. It tests our character and strengthens our mind and soul if we respond wisely. For example, enduring loss or failure can teach patience, courage, and resilience. By meeting hardship calmly and thoughtfully, we cultivate virtue and understanding that cannot come from comfort alone. Suffering is not punishment, but a guide. It shows where we are weak and encourages us to improve. In life, challenges are inevitable, but how we face them defines our character and our ability to live rightly.
I agree, Marcus. Suffering exposes our ignorance and invites reflection. It forces us to examine our beliefs and question assumptions. For instance, when someone experiences betrayal or disappointment, they can ask themselves, "Why does this affect me? What can I learn from this?" Pain can reveal hidden flaws in our thinking or behavior, giving us a chance to correct them. Though it is difficult, suffering becomes a teacher, guiding self-examination and personal growth. In this way, hardship is not merely to be endured, but to be understood and used to strengthen the soul.
Power and corruption.
Power tempts the soul, and many are corrupted because they forget wisdom and virtue. Only those who understand themselves and act justly can wield power safely. For example, a leader who seeks only wealth, fame, or control often causes harm, even if unintentionally. Power without self-knowledge can lead to selfishness, injustice, and cruelty. True leadership requires first mastering one's own desires and impulses. When we guide ourselves well, we are better prepared to guide others fairly and responsibly, ensuring power is exercised rightly.
I agree, Socrates. Yet I would emphasize that the highest form of power is mastery of oneself, not dominance over others. When we control our thoughts, emotions, and desires, we are truly free and resilient. For example, resisting anger, greed, or fear is more powerful than commanding armies or wealth. External authority is temporary, but self-mastery endures and protects both the soul and those around us. Inner strength allows us to act justly and with wisdom in all situations, making true power a reflection of virtue rather than control.
Happiness and desire.
Happiness comes from inner peace, not from wealth, fame, or pleasure. Desires often disturb the mind, creating restlessness or dissatisfaction. By focusing on what is within our control, we cultivate calm and contentment. For example, performing one's duties faithfully, speaking truthfully, and acting with kindness brings satisfaction that external rewards cannot provide. Understanding what truly matters allows us to avoid being enslaved by fleeting wants. Happiness is simple when reason guides it and we recognize the limits of desire.
Desire can also be a teacher if we pay attention to it. By examining what we want and why, we learn about ourselves and our priorities. For instance, if someone craves recognition, reflection can reveal whether this desire is healthy or distracting. By understanding desire rather than blindly following it, we achieve balance. Happiness comes from knowing oneself and allowing reason to guide our choices so that desire informs us rather than controls us.
Facing death.
Death should not be feared, for it frees the soul from ignorance and the limitations of the body. The wise prepare for it by living rightly and reflecting often. For example, a virtuous person who has cultivated knowledge and understanding accepts death as a natural part of life. Facing death calmly allows us to live fully, appreciating each moment without fear. By understanding that life is temporary, we can focus on what is meaningful and align our actions with virtue.
I agree, Socrates. Death is nature's process, neither good nor bad. Fearing it adds nothing to our lives. We should accept it as we accept the cycles of nature, without resistance or anxiety. For instance, a person who performs duties honestly and lives in accordance with reason can meet death with serenity. Life and death are part of the same order, and accepting this truth brings calm and clarity to the present moment.
What is wisdom?
Wisdom is living according to reason, moment by moment, guided by virtue. It is not knowledge alone, but the ability to apply understanding in daily life. For example, choosing patience over anger, honesty over convenience, or kindness over selfishness demonstrates practical wisdom. A wise person approaches life calmly, reflecting on choices and learning from experience. Every day provides an opportunity to grow wiser, refining judgment and strengthening character.
Indeed, wisdom is also knowing that we do not know everything, yet still seeking truth. It is humility paired with curiosity. A wise person constantly questions themselves and the world around them, striving for deeper understanding. For example, even in matters of expertise, the wise remain open to new insights and correction. True wisdom is a lifelong pursuit, a balance of reflection, learning, and virtuous action, guiding how we think, act, and live. This has been a good conversation, Marcus. I've enjoyed our exchange of ideas.
As have I, Socrates. May wisdom guide us both.